Whoa, it's the illusion. Reporting from somewhere on spaceship Earth. I'm here in Santa Cruz, getting some surf. Fully pumping swell. It's been like double overhead the last couple of days. It looks like there's a couple more days of decent surf. So we're getting some. We're off the mountain, dude. We are off the mountain for a hot moment. Feels good. It's trippy being back in Santa Cruz. It really is. It's funny. I lived in Santa Cruz for a long time in my, I guess my late teens, the beginning of my early 20s, and then I grew up on the summit, Loma Prieta. I grew up there in the mountains, and it's weird because it was lifetimes ago. Lifetimes ago, I actually lived in Santa Cruz. At a place over on Stockton Avenue, right next to Derby Skate Park for a while. Had a cool place down in Aptos. But yeah. And I lived over in this crazy place off of Seabright called the Palace, dude, for a long time too, man. But so we're here, and it's funny. Every time I enter Santa Cruz, I always have like a weird feeling in my stomach. I don't know why. It's, it's like going to see a ghost in a weird way. Because I don't really, at this stage of my life, have any like attachment to Santa Cruz. Like, I don't have any, like, there's no house I would pull up to and be like, hey, what's going on, you guys? That was 30, I think I lived 30 some plus years ago that I was actually living here, and so it's like I said, it's just a weird vibe, right? And then I kind of come back here, and I always feel like a weird energy about, I don't know, my past. I remember playing Joust here. I'm at the Coconut Grove. I remember playing Joust here. And this was like the first time I got stoned with some complete random stranger in the parking lot over there that I just walked through. And yeah, we used to come down to the boardwalk, do the whole thing. But so I when I come back here, it stokes up a lot of like memories from the past. And as a alcoholic in recovery, there's a certain like level of like chaos that I caused up here in life. When I was, because I was like a teenager. I was a young person. I mean, I learned to surf at the Hook, right? Like, I think the first skate park I ever skated at was Derby. So like, there's that whole, like, from being a little dude to being a young adult done up here, and everything. So all that stuff that goes on in that space, man. And I owe some amends, but there's no one around here to make amends to. Right? Like, so it's a weird vibe like that. It's like finished business that is completely unfinished. And yet, so I come up here and just go surfing, man. I go surfing. And that's nice. Waves pump up here. That's what I always remember when I come back here, like what a fantastic chunk of coastline this is to be a surfer in. What a great place to learn to surf. And I don't know, it's like it really is like a weird, it is like we were talking about, like that time travel thing a bunch of streams ago, being in, like I pulled in and I'm like, I'm right here right now. It was like going into the past, but I'm in the present and the future all at the same time when I really like thought about it. Like it's because this place is so associated with a certain period of my life, I almost forget about where I am in like my present life, right? I don't really grasp it. It was like I just clicked right into the time and space that's here right now. And I was sort of tripping on that, in that sense of time codes, man, and really just how subjective time is to the whole construct of your own personal reality. Because when I was pulling in, I had that like weird energy of like, where am I? I think that's what I meant about like that feeling in the bottom of my stomach, like, where am I? But I know exactly where I am, but it took me out of time, right? It's only when I'm like looking here at myself in the camera where I'm like, oh yeah, dude, you're like 55. That was 30 years ago when you were running amok up here, doing whatever you do when you're young. And I have no curiosity about it, which is weird. It's sort of a disconnect, but I don't have any like curiosity about Santa Cruz. This isn't like I'm visiting some place where I'm like, oh, I want to go like see what's over there or what's over there. I'm just like, it's cool. Oh, the waves are still going. I mean, there's I don't know, you probably can't see in the camera, steamer lane out there. We're walking out onto the pier. I'm trying to explain this. I feel like one of those weird movies, like the circular time loop type of thing, like 12 Monkey type almost. Like if I'm here, I can almost solve some riddles from the past, because I don't think about this time of my life that much, or that time of my life that much, because it was so many lifetimes ago. I mean, that's the one weird thing, I think, if you're doing, like, there's people probably up here that I knew when I was young that have never left, that they're still up here, living up here, doing whatever they do up here. And yet, like, I don't look really back. So when I'm here, there's like a flood of memories, a lot of memories. And yet they don't really, like I was out at Steamer Lane, it was pumping yesterday. It was like double, triple overhead. And I remember sailing, because we were all associated with sailing and stuff when I was a kid. And I remember we were out sailing and we shot the rocks between the lighthouse and there's like that big rock out there. We sailed between those on something. I remember the first time ever going out of the yacht harbor, and there was a full swell and everybody standing on the deck at Aldo's going, I don't even know if Aldo's is still there, whatever. But back in the day, it was called, there was a restaurant there called Aldo's, and everybody going, turn back, but we were with these crazy like sailors that were like surfers, and I remember blowing through the wave at the harbor entrance, and then to come back and surf it years later. And I was thinking about surfing with my friend Charles, who passed away. I think he kind of died a junkie, dude. But like that was like the good times when we were like surfing buddies. We used to surf all those crazy reefs north of Scotts Creek there. So I have there's a certain level of like uncomfortable memories too. A lot of good memories. But what stands out is just the disconnect from it. Just almost like it's a movie or something. A movie I watched a long time ago, and I vaguely remember the movie. Like, I vaguely remember the movie. Like, that's what I would always say about life is, like, I'm pretty conscious since I'm a sober guy, and I trip on how much I don't remember. And then you go back and think about your youth, which was, for me, a long time ago now. I don't really remember that much in it. I can remember pieces of it. Like in the background there is the Giant Dipper roller coaster. I remember riding that thing. I remember doing all that. It's weird. I don't know, it's a very weird feeling to be back. It is. It's like walking through a ghost. It's all the same, but it's completely changed. I mean, the Dream Inn is still right there. I remember my grandparents stayed there. I remember something else going on there too. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but there's a vague recollection of some party there. Some big event there. There was debauchery, I'm sure. It's all good though, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. Not in a bad way. It just makes me feel uncomfortable underneath like my bones, if that makes any sense. It's pretty easy to be disconnected with the rest of the world. When it's been like 9 months since I left the mountain, right? Yeah, it's been 9 months. I think we went out to southern Utah in March. So 8 months. So it's been a while since I've been off the hill and been somewhere else. And it's funny how you get to a certain point in your life and you realize there's just huge swaths of spaceship Earth that are just always going to remain a mystery. And what makes it really prominent of that they're always going to be a mystery is that this is a place I fully know. Like the other day or yesterday, or maybe it was today, I was down there by Natural Bridges, and there was like a street, I forget what it is, but and I thought to myself, like, I've never been down that street. And I didn't go down it, and I probably never will be down it. But it's that weird energy of just knowing what we're up against as humans with time, how little it is, and then within it, like how much there is at the same time. It's such a paradoxical thing. I think that's where I feel it. Like on my way out of the thing, I think I'm gonna try to skate the whatever the pool is down there that I've been skating since I was a kid. It still survives. Dude, what is that place called, man? The square pool. But I don't know. I'm fully comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. But I think it also really points out the whole concept of the lonely planet, right? The fact that we're all on our own, man. We're all on our own. We're lucky to have our little tribes of people, our families, but at the end of the day, we really are just on our own, man, in this weird vortex. And I'll tell you what, the humans are a trip, man. It's funny how it's a weird group of people who live up here. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's this weather, the damp, salty redwood air. And it makes for a strange crowd. Anyway, I don't know what I'm getting at. I thought I would just make a video as I walked around here on the wharf. What do these seagulls think? What do you guys think? Like where's our treats, dude? Where's our treats? All right, it's the Illusion signing off. I'm gonna have a little surfing video up next here, I think. Just kind of compiling some footage, and that's what I'm doing. So links down below. Yeah, use the name tags, become a member of the channel, support the dream. It's the Illusion signing off.